Yep.
They were so pretentious, though. All right, you ready? Let's go.
Yeah, let's hit that intro. 3, 2, 1. Mic check, 1, 2. Welcome back to the Are You For Real show, where we're going to talk about real, raw real estate. This is real estate like you've never heard. I'm your host, Bubba Thompson. I'm a local real estate agent. Here again, as always, with Mr. Jeff Dowden.
What up, what up?
What up?
Can y'all hear me? Mic check, mic check.
Yeah, Jeff always has to make sure his mics. See,
sure
look, it dropped again. You set up. You just
There we
set
go,
up.
see?
Here we go.
I'm fidgety.
Man, I'm glad, nothing changes around here.
Yeah. I didn't bring the John Madden, but
No, I told you we have those headsets.
we'll get the telestrator.
Chris, we need those. Next time we need to get those headsets. yeah, those headsets for Dowden here, so he
Boom.
doesn't lose his mic.
Brett Favre.
Yeah, boom. Yeah. And then he draw like the sweat line.
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
the Cowboys? Remember the Cowboys? And I think it wasn't Larry Allen. Who was the other big lineman?
Nate Newton.
Nate Newton. So he'd always sweat, and he'd sit there and draw the sweat line.
My favorite one was Thanksgiving when Nate Newton got injured. And they wheeled him off, and on left on the field was like a little bite-sized Snickers bar.
Yeah.
So he had the telestrator, and he was like circling
Around. Yeah. Well, we're already going off the rail here.
Keeping it real, though.
And we are keeping it real, though. So. What are we talking about on this episode?
I think today we're talking about Airbnb, short-term rentals, construction, pitfalls, the do's and don'ts, red flags, and pet peeves.
Yeah, all that fun stuff, right? Yeah, so, Airbnb, those were hot and heavy for a long time. I mean, as far as real estate buying and selling. Yeah. But, I mean, I still have some clients that are still doing it and do well. Matter of fact, the two that have listed one you have a contract on.
Yeah.
Those were pretty good.
Makes it fun to try to do, inspections and showings and stuff when you're like.
Yeah, I mean, we could put that in our pet peeve section if we wanted to. I think you did last time. But yeah, it's
Did you get a call about us last time when we were busting out the attic crawl space while y'all were trying to clean it? And busting out ladders, going to check the insulation?
No.
Yeah, we had the buyer's dad and uncle. So
yeah.
So
you had those.
It was a double whammy.
Yeah. So no, we didn't. I mean, the seller's pretty cool. He totally understands. I mean, on the other one, he had to move. So we were doing inspection, and the inspection was from like 2:30 to 6:30. Well, he had people coming in at 4.
Yeah. So
he ended up moving those people from the 4 o'clock to a 6:30 check-in just to accommodate. So he's pretty cool.
You give him a discount?
Huh? I don't know what he did, how he did it, but we'll talk to our guest that's going to come up.
We have a guest today.
Yes, we do
Episode
have a
3,
guest.
And we got a guest.
Yeah, we're rocking and
rolling. You want to do your spill about if you want to be a guest?
Yeah. If you want to be a guest here on the Are You For Real podcast show, send us a message down below.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button somewhere around here or over there, or wherever it's at.
Chris.
Yeah. Plug that in.
All right. And we're also trying not to get sued this time. So.
Yeah. So do we have any sponsors? Looks like
Topo Chico.
Or Topo Chico.
Topo Chico.
Yeah.
However you want.
They'd probably love that.
I go the green go way.
Yeah, that's right. What do I have here? I'm down with the Purified Resoc Members Mark water.
Man, really splurged on that one, didn't you, Bubba?
Thanks, Chris. And Chris he brought in some Topo Chicos.
Oh, are these the complimentaries?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can't bitch about that. So anyway, we're talking about short-term rentals, construction. Yeah. I mean, you know as well as I do, some of these houses we got to get prepped. We got to get stuff worked on, and it can be a nightmare getting people in there to work on something. So we're gonna talk about that with our guest. So do we want to go ahead and get into the red flags?
Let's do the red flags.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get into our red flags. Anyway, we do this red flags where we give you guys some information on stuff to look out for when you're out there buying, selling, shopping for real estate, whatever it is. So what do we got going on here?
So my red flag this week, I'm going with construction. So something to look out for contractors is,
I mean, from a contractor's point of view,
if you're hiring a contractor,
yeah.
Which it's in the name alone, but if they don't use a contract, like, so you hear so many stories about contractors and they come get a deposit, totally ghost you. So it was given to me like if contractors don't come with a contract that's well laid out of who's responsible for what, money's due, and this and that. So
So would that be just a handyman?
Yeah, there's one you want to stay away from is the handyman. Yeah. You might want to make sure they do it full time too, because then your 6-week job turns into a 6-month job. So
yeah, you have to make sure a handyman is. You got to be careful. I mean, you want somebody that knows what they're doing, and they can't just do anything.
Yeah. Well, you got to have permits and all that.
That's what I was just about to go into. I had a property one time we were going to list, and I mean, they did a lot of work. Yeah. And it was inside city limits, and 0 permits were pulled. Zero. I mean, I'm talking roof, foundation.
Okay.
All interior plumbing, electrical.
I think I know them.
So there were 0 permits pulled. Yeah. So that's a big no-no.
Well, I mean, sometimes it's worth spending the extra money. Good contractor and a good bourbon. Spend the money.
Yeah, good bourbon. What's good bourbon?
For affordable?
Yeah.
If you just Buffalo Trace probably would be a good affordable one. So
is that little short, stubby little bottle or whatever?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't come prepared with my bourbon conversation.
Well, I don't know. We do have a guy that wants to come in and do a podcast about bourbon, so maybe we can.
Well, I'm in on that one.
Yeah. There you go.
So
you have another red flag for us?
Yeah. I think it was kind of twofer. Like, you want a good contract with your contractor, and you want to avoid a weekend warrior. Somebody that's like, they're going to be cheaper, but they're not going to get there till 5 o'clock because they got their other job. And, and like I said, a 6-week job turns into a 6-month job. So I think those are my 2 red flags. What about you? You got a red flag?
Well, I didn't come prepared for red flags today.
Okay.
But, a red flag for me, if we're going to talk contractors, is really just a red flag is when the contractor pulls up, in a 2-door coupe.
Okay.
Right.
So he doesn't have a work truck?
Yeah. When he doesn't, when you're meeting him for the first time and he pulls up in a 2-door coupe.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I say that, because I had that one time. Okay. I was like, it just, in my head, it just went, wait a second, what are we doing here? This guy, is he ready to work, or, does he have the tools?
He has to have the paint on the pants and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, he has to look like he just came off a job site. That's all right.
Yeah. Is it kind of like when a realtor doesn't pull up in like a white Beamer or something?
Yeah. And then you're going,
what is this guy doing?
Yeah. Let me go check his Instagram, see if he's got any sold.
Check his Googles.
Yeah. See if he's posted anything about what he sold.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's just car selfies.
Yeah.
So
there's a builder. I'm not going to call him out, but he does.
Let's go.
But he does, like all these photos, he has his car within the photo of whatever he's building.
Yeah.
And it's a 2-door.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. But I'm going, wait a second. Are we proud of the product you're putting out there, or proud of this car?
Does it have vanity plates too?
I don't know. It doesn't show that in there, but I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it does. Yeah.
Yeah. 100% has that. So, there's, speaking of vanity plates and 2-door cars, Mustangs.
Okay.
Did you ever own a Mustang?
I never did. Okay. Well, when I was like 7, my parents had one, but I don't think that counts. But
okay.
Yeah. No, I never had the Mustang. I wanted one. I wanted the 5.0. You can go back to the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
With the rag top down?
Oh, yeah.
So your hair can blow?
Menace to Society. Yeah.
Oh, I was going Vanilla Ice, but...
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. There you go. Well, I was like in 3rd grade. That was more you, Bubba.
Yeah.
You boomer.
Big boomer. Yeah. I'm a little bit older than you. Just a little bit, right?
You can't tell, but Bubba's like 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it didn't seem... I always...
No.
I don't know, when I'm talking to you guys, and it's always... And I always realize, like, damn, I'm old. Because I'll be talking about stuff, and y'all going, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
Or we go different ways.
Are we going to date ourselves? Are we going to...
You can date yourself if you
give
want.
Like the year graduated and everything.
And what about you?
Well, I graduated 2000.
See?
I wear mine like a...
91.
Okay.
See?
Okay. Yeah.
Born 1973.
Oh.
Yeah.
We got Chris back there astonished now. So
We have to bleep that out.
yeah.
Probably heard that over the mics.
Chris has just learned how old Bubba was.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, should we get back on topic?
Yeah, let's get back on topic. So that was our red flag.
You got to get home to watch Matlock. So let's wrap this up. So. Airbnb.
Oh, Ironside.
Wheel of Fortune's about to start.
Yeah.
So.
That is funny. So like my father-in-law, he's older, and man, he's got to hit that Wheel of Fortune every night at 6:30.
That's supper time.
Yeah.
Not dinner, supper.
Yeah, that's almost bedtime. Yeah. So anyway, that was our red flag section there of our little episode here. But tonight we have a guest, someone we've known for a while. We could have him on two different shows, really. We could have him, what we're about to talk about here, and we could also have him on videography because he's a great local videographer. His wife's a local real estate agent as well. But they also venture off into some short-term Airbnbs building, and we'd like to welcome to the show tonight, Mr. Jamie Phillips.
All right. Appreciate y'all having me.
Jamie.
This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And Bubba, I was with you on the Vanilla Ice.
Yeah. See,
that's what I was thinking. I mean, I love Menace to Society too, but I was. Well, I wasn't 3. I was like 12, but still, Vanilla Ice was the 5 O's.
He was a good one. Yeah.
I used to hang out here at Pompano's. Pompano's before it was like the Island Bar.
I remember Pompano's.
And all that. Yeah, so it was Pompano's.
He's Vanilla Ice's local boy.
Mm-hmm.
A friend and client of mine, old client, he doesn't do real estate anymore, but I think he went to high school with him.
Yeah.
And what do you know where it was? Somewhere in the Dallas Metroplex area.
It was Highland Park?
Was it?
Somewhere
like that.
Yeah.
I know it's somewhere down there.
Yeah.
That's what's funny is it goes to Vanilla Ice. When I was in college in small town Oklahoma, Vanilla Ice actually came to our local college bar and played a show. But then he was heavy metal.
Yeah.
Or like kind of punk rock. He was trying to change it up.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just like, oh my goodness, when I was 12 years old, he was like on the American Music Awards, like playing to all these people, and here he is in my little hometown bar.
And point out, it was perfectly normal for 12-year-olds in Oklahoma to be in bars at the time too. So,
so that's fine. So Oklahoma was. Do you remember that bar, Frickin' Frack?
Ooh,
that was like that happening back in the late 80s, man. That was like the place to go, early 90s.
I don't know. Like I said, we were Southern Oklahoma, Ada, so
Oh, okay.
We went to East Central, where it's kind of like Southeastern.
Yeah.
Southeastern's our big rival. So,
yeah.
But yeah, man. I don't not to, like you said, to keep it from what we're talking about to Vanilla Ice. But yeah.
I think you'll learn
Ice,
that
baby.
Right.
We come in with our topics, but by like the second segment, we're just off the rails.
Yeah,
like
Vanilla Ice. Yeah.
I thought this was about real estate stuff.
We were talking about Jay-Z and the Diddy last week. So,
speaking
which
of
is
Diddy,
topical. Let's get our Diddy minute in.
So what's up with the Diddy?
Oh, Diddy got off.
No, I'm talking about the court.
Yeah. Hey,
yeah. So they were trying to get him on 5 counts.
I think so, and I think he was only found guilty on 2.
Yeah,
and it was like the 2 lesser charges.
Yeah,
2 lesser.
So
yeah,
he'll be doing his Diddy dance out the.
Back making the band.
Dude got lucky.
He got some Johnson & Johnson sponsorship coming up. Like,
oh yeah,
he's ready to go.
Yeah, that baby oil, they're calling him up saying, "What's up?"
Get that baby oil.
So Jeffrey has, he's conspiracy that Diddy had something to do with Tupac and Biggie.
I think that's the rumor around the way. I think Eminem even mentioned something about it.
Did Eminem mention it too?
Yeah,
in
like
one of his songs.
One of his songs is in I don't know, man.
Yeah, he's just shady.
There might be
Slim Shady if he's Eminem, but
right. There could be some smoke to that fire for sure.
Yeah, he's always just kind of reeked of I don't know, just something about him. Like when you got a producer, because I mean he started as a producer, so he wasn't like a rapper and stuff. But when he's got a producer like that just has to be in the forefront, he's got that like attention thing going.
Oh yeah.
At some point he just.
I mean, he blew it up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, kind of that, like you said, in that making the band stuff.
Yeah. That the old Chappelle Show skit was the best with the making the band. He's like,
what he's like, Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan.
Yeah, who's the top 3 rappers in the world? Dylan.
Yeah. You're too close, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw I don't know if it was a short or something a little, and like the Dylon guy was on, and he was like mad at Chappelle because he was like, now all people know me for is the Chappelle show.
Yeah.
They don't know me for
Yeah.
making the band or whatever he's done. And it's like,
well,
that's what happens, man. Some of those people, they get stuck in that, whatever that character or whatever it is, and they're stuck.
Yeah, well, it's because he didn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Right.
it real, you know. So, sorry,
He's
Dylan.
blaming it on Chappelle's show.
right. He's like, oh, David Chappelle, give me $50 million.
So anyway, back on track here, Jamie. We got you here because we wanted to talk about you guys built some short-term rental cabins.
We did. We built 2 A-frames in southern Oklahoma, in Talhena, which is about 45 minutes north of Hochtown, Broken Bow, all the big popular area in Oklahoma.
That place blew up, man. Jeez.
Oh yeah, that's one of the reasons why we chose where we did was because that Broken Bow Hochtown market we were priced out of it, honestly. And two, it's becoming highly saturated, and we're now kind of like you said, the big Airbnbs, they're the ones that do well are the ones that host like 15 25 people, and they have a pool and a pickleball court now and all those things. And we really wanted something where you could go and relax and enjoy, because it's beautiful there.
Oh yeah.
You have the Kiamichi Mountains, and then the big thing in Talhena, growing up, like I said, I grew up in southern Oklahoma, is the Talamina Drive.
Yep.
In the fall, it runs from Talhena to Mena, Arkansas. I think it's like 25 miles, and you go up over the mountain, and the views are just it gets beautiful there. Like the colors.
And they have all those little lookout spots and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then there's, I think at the end of it, there's like it's called
Pot of Gold or something.
But there should be, because you're so high up there. You could probably find the gold. There's like a real nice, it's like Queen of Talamina or something. It's a real nice like hotel that has been up there for a long time. But yeah, so like I said, we built 2. And now looking back, it's like building 1 would have been, I hate to say dumb enough, so let's do 2. You know. But yeah, so they're July's coming up on a year since we've had them. We've actually started having them booked out, but we actually started building them in 2021, 2022, and had a fun time during the process.
And
Contractors.
Did y'all have any construction experience ahead of that, or like hiring contractors other than like maybe remodel stuff, or was that kind of your first?
No, so our stuff, so like I said, we've been in real estate for a long time, and we were looking at different investments, and we didn't want, Amanda's mother has some rent houses in Sherman that we manage. We didn't want a property like that. We wanted something different, and wanted something that, maybe we could use too. And so no, like this was our first in construction forte. Like we haven't built anything from the ground up,
Like
or
going and getting the
or
construction
anything like
from the
that. Well, I
bank?
did. I take that back. So like when I worked for a long time, I worked for Cable One, which is now Sparklight. And when I became the regional production manager, we were actually moving offices, and so we were given basically the dimensions of a building. So myself and my business manager at the time, we designed that building.
Okay.
And so when we worked with a contractor through that, so that might have been, the first kind of experience I had, but like anything, personal or on our own, it was the first like shot in the dark, just like, hey, let's just do it.
Buying the land, going to the bank, getting the carry-only loan, doing all the...
Right, the construction loan and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So you're in the Sherman area, and this is how many hours? 3 hours, 4 hours away?
No, so it's right at 2 hours.
2? Okay, that's pretty.
Yeah,
close.
you just hit 75, and go up to around Stringtown, and then over.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's beautiful up there and everything, but to build somewhere, and you're on probably 40 acres, something like that.
Yeah, we've got right at 40.
And you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's not like you're in a town, city, or anything like that. How in the hell did you find contractors?
Well, or
where'd you start like researching?
Yeah, so Amanda came to me with a picture of a Airbnb that was made out of a container, like a shipping container. And she put it to me and she said, I want this. So I started looking at it and I started looking into it. And then I don't remember if we went to actually to one or even to a shipping container. And I was in there and I was like, all right, like we're wanting to use it too. I was like, this isn't enough space.
Yeah.
And to our banker at the time too was like, hey, well, I said a shipping container at first. And he was just like, his eyes got big. And he's like, what? And then I showed him a picture and he was like,
he
was like, you want this amount of money for a shipping container? He's like, this sums up. And I showed him a picture and he was like, okay, we're into it more now. But they still weren't on board. And then I was like, well, we wanted something different because while the Airbnb, the popularity has gone down some, the unique stays. Those are the ones that are getting booked.
Exactly.
Either unique locations or unique things you're staying in.
So you're saying like throwing subway tile in a house in the ghetto is not really what people want anymore?
Right. And the laying down the laminate, the laminate floor. And no.
Live, love, laugh pillow on the.
Yeah. Put a neon sign up that says my happy place.
Have you seen the memes where the reels where it'll show them like walking out and then it's like a nice house and then like it pans out and it's like just a trap house neighborhood like.
Oh yeah.
So we've finally decided on A-frame because we like that style.
Yeah.
And we wanted them smaller. We wanted them to be where you could have 4 people at max, but really they're really made for 2 people.
2 people, yeah.
For a couple or for a couple with small kids.
Do they have lofts?
They do, yeah. Okay. So like the loft downstairs is the kitchen, living area, and it has a fold-out bed for people with kids. And then upstairs is a nice loft and the downstairs bath. But so we finally found that. And then so talking about the contractors, that's where we've had like some good luck and some bad luck. We had an older family friend, that he was building cabins in Broken Bow. Like I said, it's 45 minutes away. So we talked to him, and he was like, "Oh, I should be able to get my subs up there to do that. It should be good."
It should be the red flag.
Should be. No, honestly, with the red flag should have been is that 5 years before he had got into some trouble with building, and it was more. It wasn't with the quality of work; it was more of the managing side, which you see a lot of people who are like artists and stuff like they can't manage things.
Yeah.
But like that had been 5 years, and he'd been doing good. So we're like, well, hey, like Amanda and I were like, I think this could help, and with us being our first time, knowing somebody,
no like and trust deal like we talk about.
Yeah, and the planning process went good. Like we walked through plans and we looked at some and we kind of made our own little variants because we wanted them to be about 1,100 square feet, and this and that. And so that was kind of how that started with finding someone. And then we went up and, of course, looked at land and like anything, we looked at 3 or 4 pieces that you're just like, no, this isn't going to work. And then we came down. Our land is 40 acres, but it's divided by a county road.
Okay.
So we've got like 26 on one side and 14. And we came in and it was super treed. We were driving, and then where the land is, it kind of clears up. And we came up over the hill. And like before we got out of the car, we were both like, "This is what we want."
This is it. Yeah.
Like, and it has a great spot for the cabins up here. And then down there's a pond, and so we got that done. And we finally got it. The land started being prepped for the. Luckily, where we built was pretty flat. So we just needed the home pads and stuff. That gets done super quick. Our road gets put in. We had a slight issue with the road, and originally we were gonna have the 2 A-frames and like a small shop, and that pad was put in the wrong spot, and
it makes it tough because you're a couple hours away, so you're not there. You're trusting this dude,
right? So then he shows us, we're like, yeah, no, and then he keeps saying, okay, well, I'll get it moved. I'll get it moved. That was our first red flag. And it was like, okay. But then too, like then we were getting ready for the foundations to be poured. Like, oh yeah, we're pouring them tomorrow. We're pouring them Tuesday. We're pouring them here. Well, we finally get them poured. And he apologized. Of course, like everybody has excuses. Get them poured. So then we're excited. He's like, yeah, we're about to start framing. Week goes by. Another week goes by and still nothing. And he's like, well, then he starts with, well, my guys said they were up there, so I don't know what's going on.
So now he's passing blame.
Yeah. And so, and once again, 2 hours away, can't be up there all the time. So we kind of keep going on with some of it. We were having some of the other land cleared and this and that. And I had to go up there and meet the land clearer. And I was like, you know what? I'm putting trail cams up here. Because
That's what I was
again,
just about to say, they get those trail cams, or even Ring now has what they call a construction, where they have their own.
So that's what, and to being the remote location too, there's not a lot of great cell service, and we didn't have internet or anything up there yet because we had no power. Well, sorry, we did have power after we had, that was whole nother story, having to pay to have electricity ran, I don't know,
I could imagine.
quarter mile, half mile. Some stories on that, because my neighbors are great, but they're small town Americans, and they're like, the humor that just comes with that, just, I don't know, if you don't know, like if you've never grown up in the country or been around country folk, like it's just something else. They're great people, but they're just, like I said, the lady who I got my land easement from, she had no problem when I called her, like, hey, can I get this easement? She's like, yeah, just come up and have the papers for me to sign. So I pull up, and she comes out there, and she's got she just had surgery or something, so she had a little walker, and she turns it around and she sits on it, and she goes, I'm gonna sit here, and I saved you a seat there. Well, it was a 55-gallon drum that was turned on its side, so she, underneath this tree, she's like, just sit there. And I'm like, okay. So I'm giving it to her, and like I see she's got dogs and everything running around, and like she's signing, and she just stops, and she's just like, that's my wolf back there. And I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, that's my wolf. I've had him for 15 years. And I'm like, okay. And then she signs a couple more pages, and she's like, and I said, well, what other animals are around here? And she's like, oh, no, I just have dogs. I was like, no. I mean, around here is like deer, turkey, bear.
You're just trying to do some small talk with her.
Of course, because it's awkward as heck. Like, I've never met this lady, and she's taking forever to sign 3 pieces of paper. And she goes, Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Well, I was like, what? And she's like,
oh, there's
It's
Bigfoot.
Hochatown.
Yeah, she's like, Bigfoot's real. Yeah. She said, I saw him. And she said, I was driving home one night. I crossed the bridge going over the river, and I saw 2 eyes glowing with this big old beard. She goes, I floored it, and I came home, I locked the doors, and I sat, and I said, Jesus, please don't let that be what I thought it was. Please don't let it be. And I'm just like, can we sign the third paper, you know? And
I'm starting to wonder if she's cognitively allowed to sign those papers.
I know, right? I might get sued from doing your podcast.
Welcome to trouble, Jamie.
Right? I'm like, man. So, like, all that gets done. You know, like I said, we have the electric ran, but we don't have internet or anything there yet. So I set up these 2 trail cams. Well, his guys come, like, the next week, and they literally put up 2 long 2x4s, making one part of the A-frame. And they go home.
I just want to see what it looked like.
Yeah, I guess so. So I'm like, what the heck, man? And like, we're still getting, like I said, the excuses start to mount.
How far into the build, like, time frame are y'all now?
Man, you know what? Probably,
like, from groundwork to this
probably 3 months.
That's a long
And
time.
y'all are just doing an interest.
Well, and we were told that it would take 6 months.
Yeah.
And like, so the red flag starts going, and you know, you start like, you're like, man, I should just fire him. And the good thing is we did have a contract.
Yeah.
And the contract basically said one day written notice, and anybody can cancel the contract. So I was like, okay, we're easy out. And we had been paying, like, luckily, once we were paying as the work was completed.
Correct. Yeah.
So, like,
stages,
he didn't have any money. We didn't give him any money up front. And
that's a good thing, because that's one thing you got to be careful with, because a lot of people pay a lot of money up front, and you shouldn't do that. So that was done right by him.
You're right.
That's an age-old story in contractors, and that was kind of.
And we actually had someone just up the road that they were working with a different contractor, and that's what they ran into. The guy took his money and then the work he did complete was bad. But so, like, we keep getting these, and then, like, they put up a little bit more, and then where we're at, because you come off the mountain and there's a valley, and then you kind of elevation comes back up some. Well, the wind will whip through there, and well, it blew down. And so when that happened, I told Amanda, I was like, we're firing him, but then like he said, oh no, the next day he was there. So it's almost like, oh, okay, well, he's doing it now. So they get one that is framed out, and he tells us it's 90% done, ready, to look at the roof. Well, they start on the other one, and it doesn't proceed. And like the time frame, we're probably 5 months into it now.
Yeah.
Damn.
And just excuses. Like, I think he wrecked his truck 3 or 4 times. His tools got stolen 4 or 5 times.
That's the
They're at the pawn shop.
Yeah, always something.
My tools got stolen.
Yeah.
We were on Facebook one night, and Amanda came to me showing me something on Facebook one night where there was a forum in, I guess, Hochatown. That's McCurtain County.
Yeah.
And someone else that he was doing work for was basically putting him on blast. But from them, he was actually taking money from them and not doing work. And I told her, I was just like, you know what? Send him a written. We're done. We're done with him. So we did. And
so you're 5 months in, not even framed up yet, right?
We have one that's framed, one that's supposed to be ready for roofing, and the other one is 60% done. Well, the next morning, I get a call. I get pictures from my neighbor, and the other A-frame that wasn't completed fell down. So now it's just a pile of lumber. So
he's probably driving out there taking the lumber back since you fired him, huh?
Get my lumber. And that's another thing is always have insurance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
On your builds. That's what saved us on that part. But so we had one kind of done, the other one blown down.
Pile of
lumber, no contractor.
Yeah.
We're 6 months in.
Was it the wolf that blew it down?
This is the big bad wolf.
The Bigfoot.
Yeah, see?
Or no, because we didn't have any brick. It was just lumber. So we're kind of, that next day, we're kind of.
tried to warn you, bro.
Yeah.
I know, right? I should have the bedtime story.
Did she have like a red little cloak on? Like,
Right? I need to go back and check the trail cams. There might have been the 3 little pigs run through.
Right, maybe, yeah. Going McCurtain County. You
never know.
Right? So we're kind of, it's
to Trish in McCurtain County.
It's just kind of a dead deal at that time. We don't have anything. I don't know what we're going to do. And so I put it out on Facebook in the Talahina group, like, hey, I'm looking for a contractor. And a lady texted me that when I worked at Cable One, she worked at Channel 10. We talked all the time. She sold commercials there. And she was like, hey, she's like, me and my husband.
Oh, that's
Danielle.
Yeah, Danielle. Yep.
Yeah, Danielle Pritchett. She's like, hey, me and my husband moved up here
Yep.
about 6 months ago. And she goes, Paul just got done doing our house. Maybe he'll be interested. And I was like, okay. So that was like a Tuesday. Wednesday, I met him up there. And we talked, and he was like, man, okay. And he's like, hold on a second. And he goes to his phone and he calls his framers. He's like, hey, man, I've got one that's about done. I got another one that's ready to go. And the guy was like, all right, I'll be out there Friday. So he came out there and started work. And, so that was kind of the good side of it. We got burned. And then the good side was this, fell in our lap. And Paul's a great guy, knows construction. He was a perfect one to work with, a first timer.
Yeah.
And he started, and about the first 3 weeks, every call I got from him was like a $5,000 phone call that he was having to fix the mistakes.
Yeah.
And he's
That's
like,
what happens.
and he goes, he told you this one was like 90% done. He goes, Jamie goes like, this is like 50% done, and like 20% of it's wrong.
Yeah.
So so it was just a different stress because I knew the project was in good hands, but every time my phone rang, I was like, Paul,
that's another $5,000.
Yeah. But and then finally, one day he called just to say hey man, everything's great, and I was like,
news.
Ooh. Yeah. So with him, the build went great. And it took, when he started, it took 6 months, like the original was. And he helped us. The plans end up being goofy, so we had to make some changes. And but man, after that,
So it was about a year process to actually build. approximately.
Yeah, year and 3 months. So it's some, because then we got being done, and we had to order like the shower glass, and that was
It's always a shower glass.
Shower glass.
a month. It was a month out.
It's
So-
never installed.
No.
You got to put it in there. Install shower glass before closing.
It's all
Like,
custom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's what we actually. It's funny. We had a family Christmas with my nieces and my brother and sister-in-law, and the shower glass wasn't in yet.
Just spraying
So we
water
had
all
to
over the floor.
we made like a makeshift like PVC thing with some shower curtains, and then it came in, and one of the pieces of glass was cut like a quarter of an inch too long, so the door wouldn't shut.
Yeah.
So there's another 4 weeks. So like, by the time we actually got to rent it, to start,
Yeah.
but luckily we were still ahead of like I said, the fall is the big time.
Yep.
So luckily we were ahead of that. But it was just like I said, I think those were the things. I'd make sure you have a contract, make sure you have insurance, and make sure like you got to stay on top of the contractors.
Yeah, and don't pay them up front.
Right. And
I
don't.
mean, right?
No.
I mean, you get it. Like you have to buy materials and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You know,
Deposits and stuff.
yeah, but yeah, some people pay all that money up front, and that's
Yeah.
when those guys are burnt because they're using that money for the jobs they just did. They're paying for that one. That's
Yeah.
usually what
Or
what
going
they're
to see
doing.
Vanilla Ice in a bar.
or go and see Vanilla Ice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like that was the thing. And too,
Racking up that tab.
I think you're heard it saying it was like money and timeline. You should double both of them.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because
At
costs did
least,
go up.
yeah.
Because like he looked at it and he even helped us like cut some costs in places. But like there was something, it was like the cost is the cost.
Yeah.
And some of it was because we weren't in Dallas where there's thousands of people.
Yeah.
We're not here where there's a ton of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of competition.
No, there's not a lot, and the people, and then and they work on their timeline too. Like our cabinet guys took forever, but like Paul was like, I wouldn't use anybody else around here because I wouldn't trust the work. So, like that, and get you, like I said, get you a
Well,
contractor
it's
that's
like
on
they
your
say,
side.
a good cabinet guy and a good bourbon. You got to spend money on those things, right?
Right, yeah, and up your bourbon budget
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
going to build something too,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
Yeah,
we're
that's
gonna
what
need
We're
it.
going for a bourbon sponsorship, so
Right. Well, hey, we got
come on, Pappy Van Winkle, let's go.
Iron
Yeah,
Root,
Iron Root.
down the
Yeah.
street.
Oh yeah, bring
Their
it
stuff's
on.
that's
Bring
some
on the
good
Harbinger.
stuff.
Come on.
Right. So that's kind of our the building process of it. Learned a lot, and to do your homework. Like I did a ton of homework, but then like probably do even more. Like because it's the plans. Like in now, just kind of like anything when you build. Like now I walk through there and go, oh, if I had to do this again, I'd have done
You
this
would've
or
done, yeah.
done that, or I'd have because we wanted to move something and we decided not to because they had to bust up the floor because we were originally going to do polished concrete or stained concrete,
Same,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
and then we end up not being able to. So it's like, oh, I should have busted the floor and moved
Went ahead and
this
did it anyway.
and done it anyways. But
On the management side, do y'all self-manage?
yes, so we self manage, and we use we have a booking app called, what is it? Ours is Hospitable, I think is what it is. But there's tons of different ones.
What kind of red flags should you watch out for self-managing Airbnb?
So probably like your main, the people you should get, like you build your team, is cleaners
Definitely a clean.
and maintenance. Luckily, like I said, ours are still pretty brand new.
Yeah.
So the maintenance has been low level stuff that I can handle, like flushing a hot water heater.
Yeah.
So we have tankless, so it's super easy. YouTube's your friend. YouTube's your
Oh,
friend. Or now even Chat GPT. Heck, like, how do I flush this water heater? But your cleaners too. And that's what we were talking earlier. For the first while, we've been cleaning ourselves just to kind of get a list, know how we want it reset. But I've got a neighbor down the way that hit me up and was like, hey, I'd love to, I'd love to clean it for you. So she'll be ours moving forward. But maintenance and cleaners, and too, like with us being 2 hours away, we have a guy. He's another neighbor that he's kind of our oh my gosh, we need to go do kind of a not really emergency. I mean, he'd probably go for emergencies, but
Just go check on something.
check
if you
on
need to.
something
Yeah.
or when I can't get up there. Because we do have, like I said, we have cameras on the front doors, just not doorbells, but motion light ones.
Yeah.
Just for that, just to see just kind of keep people's stuff safe while we're there. But
so I've seen a few. I always felt like I was being spied on with those.
You know what?
Yeah,
I can see it with the inside would be weird, and I think even with where people come in is kind of the front, and it's just the front door, and then the back is where the porches are that's open to the pretty. I can see it being weird if they were inside, or like even in the back, like looking that way is weird. But yeah, it's really just at the door, and we haven't had any issues. We've had a couple back roaders out drinking that have stopped to use our driveway.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
we live out in the sticks, and that happens all the time. We're like, why do these people always park down? Oh, yeah.
that was another, funny real story. It's like 11:30 and I'm going to bed and the motion goes off, and 90% of the time it's deer.
Yeah.
Like, and so I left. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna see what deer are running through the driveway. No, I see people
It was Bigfoot.
like getting out of a
Bigfoot.
car.
Two-legged deer.
And I'm like, what the heck? Yeah. And I'm like, what the heck? So I hit the alarm button and then I finally kick it on and I kicked the light on. And there's a lady holding on to the door, popping a squat.
Yeah.
And I hit the alarm and they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. And they run, they tear ass out of there.
Oh, yeah.
And the next morning, I get a phone call, unknown number.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hello? And they're like, is this the owner of Back 48 Frames? I'm like, yes, ma'am, it is. And she's like, well, me and my friend last night were out driving country roads, and we just saw your driveway, and it is kind of long. And she's like, we just kind of pulled in and stopped for a minute. And she goes, I think we set off the alarm. She's like, we weren't there for any nefarious reasons.
Cool, though.
So that was cool because I was like, I figured that's what they're, I was like,
Yeah.
I've backroaded before, so I was like, oh, I know what they're doing. But for her to be like, hey, we didn't mean anything. And she goes, heck, now we know it's there. She goes, when friends come, we'll have them come out there and stay with y'all.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. But
take a leak.
But yeah, so the front camera is really just, I took the
5 stars.
Right, 5 stars. Yeah, I'm like, give me a Google review.
I'm just surprised she used the word nefarious.
I know, right? I was like, you were out drinking late last night, and it's 8:00 in the morning, and you're using. Maybe she was still drunk. You never know.
Maybe.
Pulled an all-nighter.
Right. So yeah, that's the only kind of cameras. We are after these people leave, we are actually working on our fence and putting in an automatic gate just to once again kind of keep it
something else to
keep the nefarity away.
Right.
Have you run into any issues with guests? Like anything to watch out for guests, like being nefarious?
No, we've had really good guests. Like like I said, a lot of people that come up are people. We've had a lot of people from Dallas.
Okay.
That they want to come up, they want to get away from everything, but they still want something nice.
They feel like,
and they don't want,
and all that's a little too commercial.
Yeah, they don't want that. They want to sit around and really look.
Because it is. It's like you get the getaway in Broken Bow, but now it's like construction all around you. So
right,
like
and
site
they've just incorporated, so like they're working on roads there, and ours is really, like I said, you'll see the neighbors cruise by, but there's like 3 houses past ours that are, so like there's not a lot of traffic.
Okay.
It's farm, and like I said, a lot of farmers. Actually, our neighbor owns a Black Angus ranch.
Ooh, nice.
It's a multi-generational.
I've seen the cattle out there.
Yeah, man. It's
some of your photos.
It's just, but no, for guests, like I said, not really. Like I said, we've been very lucky that we've had good guests. It's normally like a couple or something, and they just want to chill. And
do you think that was a little strategic, like planning a smaller version so that try to keep the big parties away?
Yeah,
Oh,
and keep it small like that to where it is like. And if they want to bring, like, kind of the strategic was with, because like when we started, it was before all, like, rates were still super low, and that's what one thing that hurt was like the rates from when we started to when we ended. If we would have had that 6-month timeline, it'd be good. But like basically, how we did the math was one of them booked at what the area percentage rate would pay for it all. So the second one would be pure profit.
Yeah.
And it was like where, like, if you and Tony want to go and you want to take a friend, well, they rent the other one and you rent that one, and then you got the whole place.
Or the in-laws.
Yeah.
Oh no, the in-laws got to stay down the road, you know?
Yes,
So that was kind of the deal with that. And I didn't want, and to once again the cost of construction too on one of those huge ones.
Then you have parties of either 3 families with 10 kids or a bunch of
Right.
high school or college kids. It's liability. So is there a difference on insurance? Like maybe something bigger than
Yeah.
that?
So we have, well, you know what? I'm sure there is. We have a policy through, I think it's Proper Insurance, and they're a short-term rental agency.
Okay.
So a lot of the protections that are built in, like they're built in with them because they know specific stuff. Yeah. We even have one, like if a guest does damage and it takes away from us being able to book
it again. Yeah.
we have like lost revenue protection. And like I said, on the building, we had like a general liability when we were building it, and that saved us on that one blowing down because it got completely, completely done.
So you're on Airbnb?
We are
Not VRBO?
Not right now. I'm going to VRBO. Then we have a direct booking site too. Back 48frames.com.
So with, like, I'm sure you've done your research because the fees are different, aren't they, between Airbnb and VRBO?
Yes.
Right.
And so even with direct too.
Yeah. So do you have to adjust?
You can,
like, depending on
if
the price is different is what I should say.
Yes.
Because of those fees.
And where you find a lot of that too is the our fees, you can do it to save to offset. But it's like on the guests that come, the fees.
Yeah.
Like if they direct book, they save a ton of fees.
Correct.
Because you're not paying the Airbnb fee, you're not paying or the VRBO fee, And where we're at, luckily, is like we just have state lodging tax and county. Like we don't have a city or anything like that. And our county, while there's a lot of tourists there, like it's nothing like what Hochtown taxes are and stuff like that. So like we save. So we try to it's funny being a marketing person. I need to market my own property better.
That's always happens. It's it's kind of like the plumber doesn't take care.
Yes, 100%.
The mechanic doesn't take care of his own car, and the marketing guy doesn't do his own marketing. I get the same thing with my wife's stuff. She's like, "How come you don't market our stuff?" I was like, "Damn, I forget all the time."
No, 100%. Like, and I'm
the same way with real estate. Like any like I haven't protested a tax on our home, and every February I'm texting my clients.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
be sure to get your.
Yeah, that's why I'm. The booking business that's what's great about having the management software that we do. It will, it'll do our direct booking. It'll do our Airbnb, VRBO, Booking.com, and like maybe one other. So you have a shared calendar. So you're never overbooked, or you're never double booked. Sorry, and two with it, we can. A lot of the guest communication is done automatically through that company. So like they'll
talk to them directly. So.
No, they can.
Yeah.
But we'll send them out a text like the day before. And it's like, hey, here's like the arrival instructions, and then it sends them one the first morning, and then it sends one night before checkout with like checkout instructions and stuff like that. So that's all done and automated. And with that, like I said, we don't pay. We pay a monthly fee. So we don't pay like a service fee per. Like Airbnb, I think it's 3% per deal, and then
all those little fees add up.
100%. And you do, and that's what there isn't in that software. You can raise them and adjust, kind of to offset that fee.
Do y'all make all the guests like wash their own sheets and stuff?
No,
that's a pet peeve of mine.
No, our cleaning instructions are very simple.
Do the dishes before you leave, like walk our dog.
Like we'll have them, but really it's like a lot of times, like you said, dishes.
Yeah.
And then put the trash out.
Go to the market and restock the fridge. Like,
right.
Give your grocery
give our cleaners a 6-pack of beer. No, it's really like I said, just put the trash outside and because. And that'll change. It'll get better now. Like I said, that we'll have the cleaner that's closer because like we had some people leave and we were gone. So it's been 3 days since they've checked out before we could get up there. So it's nice to have the trash outside. Then the trash, we have a local county trash company that comes and MCs DJ parties. And
so I have clients that have, VRBOs and short-term rentals or whatever, and that's one of the things. Some of them, the reason why they quit doing that is because the time of coming and they're taking care of themselves. They're coming up and cleaning it and all that. And it's just it's a hassle.
Yeah.
So it's all, to me, I would say, make sure you have a cleaning crew and a maintenance
guy. Yeah. And that's what too. So we've looked into some co-hosting or some property managers, but in our area, there's not a lot. There's a lot in Broken Bow and Ho Chi Town. And we've talked to some that said, we could cover that, but a lot wouldn't because they have their local team there.
Yeah, it's 30% or something.
Yeah, that can I think that's the high end now. Yeah, but 20 to 30 is pretty much, and like you can get a co-host for like 10 to 15, and they don't do the full. It's kind of a hybrid between self-management and full property management. So we've looked into those options, and we still might, but what we've kind of found, like we kind of stepped into a niche here the last couple months, is in Tallahena there's a Choctaw Nation hospital. Well, they have a lot of travel nurses, travel doctors come in. Well, we had a travel nurse reach out to us and was like, hey, I'm going to be here for 3 months.
Yep, there you go.
I get reimbursed, and would you lower your rate if I would book it for this long? And we're like, well, hey, you know what, let's do a week first to make sure you like it. Then we're open. Well, she ended up staying for a week, and then she didn't stay with the hospital for longer. But she was like, hey, I'll be back in a month. So she ended up coming back and rented it for a month. And then she brought a coworker with her that rented the other cabin for 2 months.
Oh, wow.
So while we had a lower nightly rate, we had more nights.
But you're a book. Yeah,
exactly. And
no downtime, no cleaning expenses.
Right. And there's exactly. Like there's no
extra fees for the new book. I mean, So
it was all good. So like that's what we've started marketing to her company that staffs that hospital and being like, hey, we're the nicest place around. We're the newest place around. So like,
you offer like perks or discounts for them,
nightly rate.
A little enticing.
Yeah, the nightly rate. And then we told both of them, hey, if you tell somebody and they book, we'll give you a free weekend when you come back.
Oh, wow.
So like, it's like this weekend, the people who are coming, they're staying for the holiday weekend. And we will make more money on those nights, but it's 4 nights a piece instead of, I think the one lady stayed, 70 nights or something. Yeah. It's like, so it's kind of finding the place too, because also what's great is there we have super dark sky. So we've started reaching out to astronomy clubs and people, because I think what's the number they call it? It's like it starts with a B. It's like not Borealis, but there's a number about how
dark
the sky is. Yeah. And I think it's like 9 to 1 and 1's the darkest. We're at a 2.
Oh, wow.
And so actually,
y'all scary dark.
Yeah, dude, it's scary. And we don't have that a lot of lights.
I got wolves out there, man.
Like I was
Bigfoot.
To get off subject for a second, Tony and I went and stayed at Marfa when we first started dating. And if you're familiar with Marfa, the Marfa lights. Well, we were in town. The Marfa lights are like 40 minutes up the highway to go view them or whatever it is, the viewing center. And we were talking about it because it's pitch dark out there. I'm like, dude, I'm not getting on that highway. Like, I don't care. It's way too dark to get.
Oh, yeah, you would be like, I was out there not too long ago, and the girls were at home. And I was like, I'm going to go walking around. I had a little flashlight.
Yeah.
And I was literally 25 yards from the back door.
Can't see your hand.
No, you can't. And like I stared getting spooked.
Yeah.
And I've been through those
you're
woods.
Like the toughest guy.
See those red eyes.
Oh no, not those. But on that land, like I know every bit of it because I go out there and walk and do whatever. And I was just like, yeah, this is freaky. I'm going back in.
Long beard.
Right. I saw dark eyes and a long beard. Yeah, dude. It was so. But yeah, so we're at a 2. That's what our friend, our CPA is Joe Madden, just right up the street here, and that's what he was like. Man, most hobbyists are happy with a 4. So like that's another niche we're trying to start to market. So I think too, you've got to kind of find your crowd and work it out, and so that's another big part of it. So we're getting, like I said, we've been a year in, and while like a lot of things, it could always be busier, but we've been happy with it.
So we like to do a little segment with our guests while we're here. It's called the Pet Peeves. do you have a couple of pet peeves, whether it's for, the VRBOs themselves or for guests or something that kind of rubs you the wrong way, or construction?
Let's see. What would be the probably, man, you know what? I've found that, man, sometimes people are just dirty.
That's where my head was going. I was going, yeah.
And I didn't realize that. I mean, I know we've got tons of hair on all of our bodies, but like the amount of hair that gets lost in a 3-night stay at our Airbnb, it's a little much.
It's getting in the sink, or are people up there shaving and whatnot?
I don't know. Like,
I mean, you figured they'd come up there to rough it. You wouldn't like.
I know, it wouldn't bring your
get their business cut.
Yeah. So that, I mean, it's just the cleaning part. But once again, that's why you have a good cleaner, because that's what those people do. Like, you have a professional that comes in and cleans. Construction wise, it really is kind of like people saying they're going to show up and then not.
So that's like a thing in like these contractors, like, and you try to call them and they're it doesn't go to voicemail. It says their voicemail's full.
Yes, mailbox is full.
Yeah,
100%.
Always, man. And you're like
it goes like straight to it. Like,
yeah,
there's no ring or anything.
they don't. A lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them. I mean, their time management is horrible because they usually don't have someone taking care of all that.
Right, the business part of it. And that's what, when we had those cameras up there, I'd be like, hey, I thought your guys were coming today. He's like, oh, my guys were up there today. And I was like, my camera says they weren't. He's like, well, someone's lying to me. And I'm like, you better call them. It was like, either you're lying to me or they're lying to you.
Yeah.
Because it ain't lying over here. So probably
Cameras
that.
don't lie, right?
Yeah, camera tell the truth.
Yeah.
And then too, like another reason we're getting some gates and stuff is like, you just have looky-loos.
Oh yeah.
Like, just like drive up and look, and you're like I don't drive down your driveway and just sit there and look.
Are they doing the Finny lean? The
no,
Finny
no. I'm sure there's some out. I'm sure there's some out there, but yeah. So just those, man. Like,
lower your property value.
Yeah.
Right. Like literally lower it.
Yeah.
That, but like I said, the those are probably the biggest ones. It's like, man, and now I'm very cautious, even when I go to hotels and stuff. I'm like, I got to clean, kind of like before your housekeeper comes, you got to clean. You got to clean up before the house comes. It's like kind of the same way.
It's stressful before the housekeeper comes.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't want them to judge me. I'm dirty. It's like
that panic clean. Like,
you're cleaning your house, and then like, if you're gonna be, but we see that a lot in real estate too. When if you have a house that needs repairs or something before the closing, and I've called 12 contractors and no one will call me back, and you're like,
that's the hardest part. And like you got your and I find with the due diligence period, it's getting somebody out there, because we try to fancy up the contract with like a 7-day or 10-day option or whatever, and you're like, okay, so this needs to be looked at, and then you like try to call XYZ, and they're like, well, I can get out there for 3 weeks. You're like, oh shit,
dude. I had one, a plumber. I was trying to get a plumber at this one. It was down in Frisco, so I'm driving from here to Frisco to meet a plumber. My seller lives out of state, and twice the plumber stands me up. Right, and call once again, mailbox full, and finally get a hold of him. Where you at? Oh, I'm over here in Mesquite. I can be there at 4:00 or something. I'm like, dude, I've been sitting here since 10.
Well, yeah, I think a red flag is if you get a plumber in Frisco that needs to travel. Yeah, because there's plenty of money to be made in Frisco.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, this dude was in Frisco. I mean, I don't know. He had worked on the house before, so.
It's like, why are you leaving Frisco, bro?
Yeah.
Like,
and one last pet peeve I just thought of is like, I think a lot of, and just like anything, there's a lot of bad characters out there, but I think short-term rental and Airbnb hosts get a bad rap a lot from people. Like, oh, they're moving into my city and making my house's prices go up, and and some of them are bad. I mean, 100%. But like literally, we wanted to kind of showcase the beauty and yes, I mean, because maybe one day when we retire, we might move up there and put something on the other side for us and manage them, or maybe always joke and tell man, I'm gonna get some cows and maybe those fluffy cows,
Oh yeah, or what are those called? Start with a B. The long-haired.
I'm a city boy.
I know, but that's what Amanda said. She's like, I ain't touching no cows.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name of them.
But yeah, so like, and two, we work. Like I said, everybody that works that does any work up there
Yeah.
is someone local. Like there's a high school kid who cuts our yard. And then his brother.
So see, you're bringing. That's what people don't understand. Like you're helping the economy when they're doing this.
I mean,
right? You're paying the hotel taxes.
Right,
You know,
right.
You're bringing taxes that normally wouldn't be in there.
Yeah, and then the like I said, the lady who's going to clean. I mean, I know it's only odd jobs and stuff like this, but like I said, the kid that cuts the yard, I mean, he's a junior in high school, and I mean, and our yard's big. I mean, it's 100 a quarter every time he comes and cuts it.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, extra $250 a month for a college kid, or high school kid. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know it's little, but then like the guy who comes over sometimes for emergencies, like he's local. Like and too, when we go, I mean, we're always eating local and telling everybody eat local. Go here and buy your groceries.
Seeing those people that come there, they go, "Oh man, I want to buy here."
Yeah,
right. I want to live here in this area. So
and it's beautiful. Like I said, it is beautiful, and it's very, I don't know. It's just a slower pace and
Rural.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. But and everybody, all my neighbors look out for me. Like if they before we had them, we camped there one year.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we had a campfire, and I saw my neighbor go down to her house. And I told Amanda, I was like, I'm about to get a phone call.
yeah,
She goes, Jamie, someone has a bonfire up at your land. And I was like, it's me.
Yeah.
She goes, okay, I was just making sure you.
See, that's cool.
Run up there and put that out. Just run up there in their night.
Probably would. Probably
with her
would.
walker.
They said they
That damn Sasquatch again.
right. And I was and for like the 8 months while we were in the drolls of construction, I was like local entertainment too, because they would drive by and be like, hey, is any work going to be done today?
Oh,
and that's what after they met me, they're like, we were wondering what was going on, and I was like, oh, don't like.
I have seen bigger cities like I think Dallas maybe passed an ordinance where they were like cutting out Airbnb.
Oh,
there's
a
ton.
Sell
Yeah.
them.
And like I said, a lot of in some of those like touristy more towns.
Yeah.
Like I know like in the Charlestons and what's the other one that's big now? Pigeon Forge and all those, or Gatlinburg. They are, some of those bad actors that are just trying to get as many doors as they can and rip off the client and give them a laundry list of chores you've got to do. Like I wouldn't want to do that either. So it's like, no, let's
make you mow the yard before
and
you
our
leave.
cleaning fees super low too. It's like $50.
That's cheap.
So it's like
out there with a weed eater before you leave, like
yes, yeah.
hedge trimmer.
That's what I was today up there weed eating, just
like what's going on here
around fire pits.
Yeah.
I was like, but I like going up there and doing stuff like that
Boy,
too.
chill out.
Yeah, and to get away from everything, and I'll go up there and work. We have Starlink. Starlink's great.
Okay.
'Cause like I said, we're in the middle of nowhere, and we have faster internet than I do at home.
Are we going to have an Elon discussion since we dropped Starlink?
Yeah.
Let's
Hey,
see. We got to get a defamation lawsuit this time. Like,
right? Or a cease and desist.
Cease and desist.
Like, scrub that from the internet.
There you go.
Elon's going to have his new political party.
I know. I'm waiting for the tweet. He teased a tweet.
Oh, yeah.
He teased a tweet the other day. So I'm like, come on, Elon, just drop it again.
Yeah.
So
I mean, when you're the richest guy in the world,
seriously.
I mean, you're not.
I
What are
mean,
you
can
afraid
we
of?
just see the Epstein files at this point?
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys. Like, let's quit using that as fodder, Like, just release these guys. I mean, it's going to be redacted as shit, but.
Right. I mean, we're still waiting for JFK files. Come on.
Yeah, well, they released those supposedly, and it was just nothing new. Yeah.
Nothing there.
I mean, I think
Blackout.
at this point, everybody knows the CIA was involved with JFK.
Yeah. Russia.
Aliens exist. Like,
Right.
so.
Yeah, they
Hold
threw
on.
out the alien thing, and everybody's no one really
That's how
reacted to
bad we are right now.
Yeah.
It's like we're aliens. Like, yeah, that's cool. Like,
it. Yeah, aliens.
yeah, aliens. Yeah, sure.
Like, yeah, why not?
So,
All right. Well, I think we'll end the show
with another lawsuit. Let's
with
go.
another lawsuit and aliens.
With aliens, yeah.
Aliens.
I think I hear us being beamed
There
up.
you go. Well, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's go up to Jamie's A-frames and see if we can see the aliens.
That's
You,
right.
you probably could. You probably could. At least Bigfoot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is Bigfoot country up there.
Yeah, Bigfoot. Maybe we'll do an episode about Bigfoot. Anyway,
I'm hearing we take the show on the road.
let's take a
Right?
show on the road.
Get your,
Yeah.
get your Jeff, he's your videographer
Smart.
now,
There
right?
you
Yeah.
go.
That did look like you in that
Oh,
picture.
it did. Yeah, it really kind
Yeah, I
of
know, right?
I
Yeah.
thought it was too. I was
Yeah.
I was laughing. So when you put that on there, I was like, oh, I was about to make the same comment.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, just tell ChatGPT to put the
Yeah, and I
tattoos
didn't
in.
even do that. I just yeah, so that's pretty cool.
So-
Anyway, we'll end the show. I appreciate Y'all, where we at? We're right here, right here, right here. There's the camera right there. Anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out with us again, Jamie. Thank you,
Jamie.
sir.
I appreciate
all
it, man. Had fun. Good
great
stuff.
info, and we'll see y'all next time right here on the Are You For Real? Peace out.
Boom.